Hello and welcome to this video of what I'm calling Pens on Tour. As a lot of you are aware, right at the moment I am touring around Australia in a very, very fortunate position at the moment to be working in the arts and very glad to be. So I'm on tour and I thought I would just put together a little video because I realised because we've been doing a lot of driving and not flying recently, I have more pens inked up than I intended. Normally I have 2, maximum of 3 pens inked, and my main writer, the Sailor Pro Gear, is currently drying out after a clean, and I just re-inked up the Pilot Metropolitan there, and then realised I had all these other pens inked up as well. So I thought, why not do a little what I'm writing with video? So what I thought I would do is I would go through each of these pens one by one, do a very short writing sample just to show you what I'm writing with and what ink I have in it. So let's get started. So today I'm writing on Rhodia. This is Rhodia paper. I am saving paper by writing on the back of something else. It is Rhodia that I brought with me. I just don't have a whole lot of Rhodia with me anymore. I've used a lot of it. So I thought for this video's sake, I would just write on the back of something else. So it is Rhodia, regular Rhodia 80 gram paper. So let's start with the Pilot Metropolitan. Now, this isn't a Pilot Metropolitan you'll see in a shop. This was a plain black, from memory, Pilot Metropolitan, which I have sanded back to be sort of like a more raw brass finish, just as an experiment, and kind of really liked it, so I kept it. It is a great everyday writer. Those who know the Pilot Metropolitan know how great an everyday writer this is. The fine nib is quite fine, as you'll see, and it allows you to write, on just about anything. So what we have here is the Pilot Metropolitan. I'll just put Pilot Metro for this sake of this. Fine, smooth pen, very smooth nib, fine nib, which I really enjoy in this pen as for everyday writing, for taking notes on the run, signing forms, that sort of stuff. This works out beautifully. The ink in this is Pilot Black, and it's really lovely. It's not super wet. It's just a lovely, smooth, reliable writer, and once it's now sanded down to brass, you can sort of carry it anywhere without worrying about damaging the lacquer. And so, yeah, I just really enjoy this pen. While we're here with brass pens, the next one is another brass. This is the Kaweco Lilliput brass, and I love this pen once again. Great pocket carry pen, which is how I mainly use it, is a pocket carry pen. If I'm leaving the house without my bag and pencil case, I just chuck this in my pocket. This has been inked up a few times, not the entire tour, mainly when we've been in places for long enough to do more than just go to the theatre. So this is the Kaweco Lilliput brass. This is an extra fine, and the reason I've also put this next to the Pilot Metro is it just gives you a great example of the difference between like a Japanese fine and a German extra fine. Like the extra fine is broader than the Japanese fine, which I find really funny. The ink in this one is Diamine. All the rest of these are Diamine. This particular one is Oxford Blue. One of my absolute favorite inks, hands down, like easily top 3 favorite inks. This pen writes beautifully smooth. It's wet enough, as you can see, but this color is just beautiful. It's sort of quite a rich dark blue with some dusty sort of tones to it, which I really enjoy. I enjoy that sort of like blue around here. They're almost blue-black sort of blue. And once again, for everyday writing, it doesn't stand out on the page too much. It's a reliable ink, and it's a really reliable pen. So sticking now with things in the blue category for in both terms of pen and ink, the Faber-Castell Loom. This is the blue version. I have used this pen so much over the years. It's been featured so many times on this channel. Love the Loom model. For me, that grip section isn't a problem. It's actually quite a nice grip. I also don't. I've started wondering whether the people that don't like this grip tend to pinch a bit more. Like the pen, I don't write with a lot of tension on the pen, like in my fingers. I let the weight of the pen, which is why I also enjoy pens where the weight is down towards the nib, like this one. But what we have here is the Faber-Castell Loom. This is a medium, but it is, in terms of the loom, this is a broader medium than most. I think I just got quite lucky with this nib because it's also quite a generously wet nib, and it's smooth and it's gorgeous. And the modern looms, this is now 4 or 5 years old. The looms I've tried in the last couple of years haven't been like this at all. Still lovely, but not like this. This is something very special. The ink in this is Diamine, once again, and this is Bilberry. Purples and blues I love for everyday writing, and this is a really lovely blurple. It's that kind of mix between the two. I remember getting my first bottle of Bilberry really early on in my collecting, wanting like a purple, and while I didn't get the purple I was looking for, I was really, I don't know why that hard started there. I was really pleased with this ink. I think it's just such a beautiful, beautiful color. Almost purple, but like still blue, not dissimilar in some ways to something like Lamy Azurite in that respect, sort of more a sapphire than a blue or a purple. Now it's time for a couple of red family inks. The first pen I'm showing here is the Esterbrook Camden. This is becoming an absolute favorite pen. This is creeping easily into my top 10 pens, full stop, for so many reasons. It's that reliability, it's that strength, it's robust. It feels like there's something, this section is perfect in my hand. It's a good size pen, it's great weight. It's just a Schmidt steel nib, medium, but it is just beautiful. It writes so, so well. So this is a medium. You can see, once again, difference between like nib sizes. The mediums there, how broad the Faber-Castell is. But this is, once again, a very smooth pen. I love writing with this pen. It's wet. It's a little bit of feedback on it, but it's smooth. The ink in this one is Diamine Autumn Oak. Being completely honest, it's an ink, like that's not a good example of the ink. That was another color on my hand. That was one of these ones. Not an ink I love. I find that the dark shading is absolutely beautiful. The lighter shading I find to just be a little bit insipid for my taste. It performs well in terms of, you know, general everyday performance, but in terms of just that color, not my favorite. But in a pen like this that actually lays down a pretty reasonable, you know, amount of ink, it's not too bad because you get enough of that sort of dark shading to make it really worth looking at. The next in this sort of orangey reddy family is, I should say the pen first, is it's in my Diplomat Excellence B, which a lot of people are familiar with the A, not so many people are familiar with the B. I love the B. The B I love for traveling because it's standard international. So I have a converter, but I can just chuck cartridges in it, like I have in it at the moment, a Diamine cartridge. But it's a reliable pen. It's got a great nib. Diplomat do wonderful things with their nibs, even their basic steel nibs, which this is. It's a good size for traveling. It's a good size in the hand. It's just a nice, reliable metal pen. So we have the Diplomat. A little bit of a railroad there. Excellence B. This is a medium. Doing a little bit of a funny railroading thing. I wonder if the nibs, the tines are slightly out of line at the moment. I'll be able to deal with that when I get back home. The ink is Diamine Matador. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a nib alignment issue here at the moment. It's hard to tell. But the thing is, on the page, it's quite smooth. Wonderfully smooth. And, you know, generous in terms of flow. And this Diamine Matador is an interesting ink. It's an ink that I didn't really give enough credit for a long time. I think it's a really beautiful red. I don't like those reds that are for like writing purposes. Like if you're marking something or whatever, sure, but for everyday sort of use, I don't love those reds that are bright and poppy, like poppy red and things like that. I find them just to be a little bit obnoxious. But reds like Monaco Red and this and Oxblood, even Red Dragon from the Diamine family. I think Diamine do reds really, really well. I think those are really nice inks that still stand out on the page, but are just not that like poppy. And I use this as a term of endearment, but the obnoxious sort of bright reds. So that was the Diplomat Excellence B with Diamine Matador. I'll just turn this page over for the final pen I've got today, which is one of my favorite recent purchases. This pen from Ryan Krusac. I've shown it on this channel. I am going to be doing a full review of it when I am back in Melbourne. It is the L16 model, so it's a big model. It's got the deer antler, moose antler, I'm not sure exactly, I'll have to look that up properly, body with the scrimshaw design of the dragon. You can see there being slayed by, that's the dragon Fafner being slayed by Siegfried, as taken from the opera, Wagner's Ring Cycle. It's a numbered edition. You see Ryan's signature there, and then 66 of 150. It's got these great dragon scales on the cap. Beautiful pen, just a really, really beautiful, beautiful pen. And it's got this lovely sort of aged or tarnished brass section, and the nib has been darkened as well. So Yovo steel nib in a medium. So we have here I'll just call this the Ryan Krusac L16. Great pen, wonderful, wonderful pen. Beautiful writing experience. There's a lovely weight to the pen on the page, and it's got a good sort of pretty sort of solid flow to it, nice to write with. And the ink in this one is Diamine again, because that's what I decided to primarily travel with, and this is Syrah, which is one of my absolute favorite Diamine inks, full stop, hands down, across the board. I just think it's absolutely wonderful. So that was the 6th pen I have inked at the moment. A really wonderful pen. Wait for the review of this. I think it's really special. And you can see from that writing, it does a lovely, lovely job on the page as well. So just to recap those pens, from the top down, I have the Pilot Metro in its sort of brassed version. They're in a fine with Pilot Black. I have the Kaweco Lilliput here, in the brass with Diamine Oxford Blue, Faber-Castell Loom with Diamine Bilberry, the Esterbrook Camden, a fabulous, fabulous pen. When Esterbrook get it right, they really, really get it right. And with that pen, they absolutely did. And that is with Diamine Autumn Oak, an ink I'm trying to like more. Then I have my Diplomat Excellence B here with Diamine Matador. And then over the page, last but not least, absolutely not least, is the Ryan Krusac L16 Fafner, which is just a beautiful, beautiful pen. And that is with Diamine Syrah ink. So I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Please feel free to get in touch using any of the platforms listed below. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at @the_offstage_me, or you can contact me on any of my videos here, or drop me an email, which is listed down below. So if you've got a product you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you'd like to support the channel, I would love to hear from you. It's your support that makes this channel possible. I'm grateful to all the manufacturers and distributors and retailers who support this channel by providing items. I don't get paid for any of this, but they provide items for me to review, and that support is just absolutely wonderful. So thank you for watching. Enjoy your pens. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.